So hello everyone, it is Jo and I am doing this video to answer 13 questions about Healy. When I started getting involved in Healy only a few weeks ago, I had so many questions and found it really hard to get answers. So these questions are the frequently asked questions for beginners, for newbies, and questions that people are now asking me. So I've put them all together in a short video to help you get the answers that I was seeking. These are the questions I'm going to be answering. 1, what is it? 2, does it work? 3, seems overpriced. Do I agree? Good question. Question 4, isn't microfrequency or TENS the same as Healy? Question 5, is it a pyramid scheme? Question 6, it looks gimmicky and flimsy. Is it for real? Question 7, can I try before I buy? Question 8, does it matter who my sponsor is? Question 9, can I overdose on frequencies? What are the side effects? Question 10, help me understand the compensation plan. Question 11, people are saying to me, what do I like and what do I dislike about Healy? So I'm going to answer that. And there are things I dislike. Question 12, how does it work? Great question. How does it work? And the bonus question for the people in my dementia support group is, will it work for dementia? And for those that are familiar with my work, I work have both personal and professional interest in dementia, but I've been working in the area of neurodegeneration for a while. So does it work in dementia? Bonus question. So stay to the end for that one. All right, let's get into it. Lots to answer. Okay, so what is it? This is it. I've got one here. This is my Healy. It is a wearable microcurrent device and it uses microcurrent, or what we call individual frequencies, to help balance your mind and body. Sounds pretty simple. There's a quantum sensor in this, and it will also analyze what you need and tell you the exact frequencies that your body is craving or needing to heal. And it can help with pain, arthritis, sleep, anxiety. There's a bunch of things it can help with. Comes in a little box like this, a Healy box. And comes with all these little things. So lots of electrodes to hook up, bracelet to put on, ear clips go on your ear. And you download 2 apps. There are 2 apps that you have to download. If you've got the resonance, you need a second app, the Healy Analyzer, to be able to run the aura scan and the resonance feature. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Number 2, how does it work? Okay, and how does it work? Okay, I'm going to jump to that one. I've just gone out of order, but that's all right. Look, I think the best place to direct you to, if you really want a thorough, comprehensive understanding of how it works, is to go to the work of Carolyn McMakin, I think. McMakin? Apologies if I pronounce her name wrong, but I'll spell it McMakin. She explains it wonderfully. And it's not just about Healy that she's talking from that position of microfrequency work. So she has been doing microfrequency work for a long time and can speak to more about the mechanics of it and how it works. But essentially, it uses small microfrequencies to stimulate tissues and cells. That's it in a nutshell. But because the currents are so small, they pass into the cellular space and they match the body's own naturally produced frequencies. So inside the cells are mitochondria. These are little power plants that are inside the cell, and they keep the cell operating and functioning properly. And the microcurrent frequency stimulates that particular part of the cell. And what that does then is increase the production of a substance called ATP. Now we're going to stick with ATP. I'm not going to go off on what it does. Adenosine triphosphate. But essentially, ATP is critical for cellular health and function. And the Healy increases the ATP by about 500%. So there is absolute effect on the body at a cellular level, which promotes health and well-being in various areas. And Dr. Carolyn, she talks about how specific frequencies impact particular cells, and she talks about how the kidney cells, for instance, respond only to one particular frequency and to no others. So it's that matching the frequencies to their own natural cellular frequencies of the body to get effect. But how does it work? Go see her videos. But yeah, essentially the answer is it works by these micro frequencies that you deliver to your body. You hook up the little wires into here, put them on your ear. You can clip this onto your shirt. Easy to wear, portable, it's very light. Put it in your pocket and you can be getting treatment whenever you want. All right. Does it work? Good question. And how can you be sure? Well, there's thousands of testimonials on the internet saying that it works, and people talking about their own experiences. So working with acne, working with pain, working with all sorts of conditions. So you can research that. I've grabbed a whole list of testimonials, which I'm happy to send to you. Real testimonials, real people. And I mean, you can come and try mine. I am in a clinical practice in Bundaberg in Queensland. If you are near me, come try mine. Happy to share it. I'm getting some for the clinic as well. I'm going to order another 3. So all the psychologists that work for me can be using it with their patients too. How can you be sure it works? Well, I guess the proof is in the pudding. Get one. If it doesn't, you've got a 14-day money-back guarantee from the time of delivery, and you can send it back, get your money back. All right. Seems overpriced. Do I agree? All right, I'm going to be honest. I think it's a lot of money. But is it worth it is the question. Yes, it costs a lot. That device there, that cost me 4,000 Australian dollars. $4,000. It's a bit of money, isn't it? And a lot of people can't afford that. So yes, I do. I do think it's a bit on the unaffordable side for a lot of people. And I think the reason for that is because of the model, the business model behind it, the multi-level marketing business model. I think that inflates the price. But if something actually works, the question is, would you be willing to buy it? And then once you buy it and you find it works, then you tell other people. And then if they want it, you can benefit from that. So effectively, you get your money back. If I bring someone into the Healy Club and they purchase a resonance, this is a resonance, the one I've got. If they purchase one, I get 800 Australian dollars, a direct compensation plan for every time someone buys a resonance. So yes, it's a lot of money, but it's a good investment too, and it works. All right. Isn't microfrequency the same as TENS? So, TENS is that transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation that lots of people have in their homes already. Physiotherapists been using it for a long time. I've got my TENS down here. I'm just bending down to pull it up. This is a TENS machine. Little compact device, not dissimilar from the Healy when you look at it. It's got all the same sort of parts. Comes in a little box. This is a little box it comes in. A bit like the Healy box. And inside you've got all your electrodes, all the pieces. It looks very similar, doesn't it? It looks very, very similar. So I paid about 40 Australian dollars for my TENS machine. I paid 4,000 for the Healy. But TENS success rate's pretty good on pain, really works with pain. I think it's about 40 to 50% success rate with TENS. But they deliver strong electrical impulses. They can be uncomfortable, and if you've used a TENS, you'll know it sort of pulsates your muscles. It's like little electrical shocks. So instead of blasting the body with these high voltage signals to block pain, like TENS does, MCT, which is your microcurrent therapies, the Healys, they use microamps. So microamps are 1,000 times smaller than milliamps, which is what TENS uses. So it's a different type of frequency. And the smaller current that Healy uses is naturally found in our body, and that current then is accepted by the cell, so the current can enter the cell and produce that ATP and promote healing. Whereas the TENS machine, really, with the higher voltage, it just blocks the pain signals to the brain, intercepts those signals. So your experience of pain, because pain is in the brain, is modified. So similar but quite different. And Healy obviously costs a lot more, and that's what you're paying for. It's an improved technology, and it gets better effects working at that microfrequency level, the microamps. Okay, so the answer to that was no. Similar but not the same. Okay, this is a good question. Is it a pyramid scheme? Because that's what I wanted to know. Is this pyramid? I have worked in private practice in psychology my whole life, pretty much. I've never been involved in multi-level marketing. I knew nothing about it, and in fact was quite skeptical. That was my biggest concern with Healy, to be honest, is I don't want to be part of a pyramid scheme. The entire purpose of pyramid schemes is to make money. That's their focus, to pull people in however you can, through deception, whatever, to make money, to get rich. The entire purpose of multi-level marketing, MLM, is to move a product. Just like in the real world, a product has a manufacturer, a distributor, your middleman, your sellers. So it's just a model to move a product. So there's different types of MLM. They all have different rules, and this is where Healy's compensation plan is important because it's protected. But yes, there's some MLMs that are disguised as, or some pyramid schemes, I should say, that are disguised as MLMs. Both require recruiting or bringing people into the model, bringing people in under you to profit. But unlike a lot of pyramid schemes, Healy doesn't require a buy-in, doesn't require an investment. You don't have to, spend thousands of dollars just to buy into the scheme. There's no way it can collapse. What can happen if you bring people in and they don't purchase a product? So what? You still have a product, and you can always bring other people in. There's no potential for collapse. The difference is the focus is on the product, and it's just a way to distribute, to circulate, to share the product, just a different way of marketing it, and a great way, given the technology and the way the world works, the way the economy, the way cash flow works these days. Everything's online. It's a really good way to not just get in touch with a group of like-minded people, but to also, if this is your persuasion, to also find a way to generate a bit of an income by sharing a product that works. So no, it's not a pyramid scheme. All right, it looks gimmicky. It looks flimsy. Is it really worth it? Do you know what? This is the thing I've been hit with the most is, it looks so gimmicky. And if you feel it, it's so light. It is so light. I can't disagree. It does look gimmicky. That doesn't mean it's a gimmick though. Okay, if you think about a SIM card, it's a little bit of cardboard with a little, gold thing in the middle, tiny little bit of cardboard. But look at the power of a SIM card. Look at what it can do. Or an SD, a micro SD card, or what else? I wrote down some things earlier. High-tech cameras. High-tech cameras are tiny little things. You can hide them in anything. Drones are now being created to fit into the palm of your hand. You have battery power packs, USBs that we carry around. They look pretty flimsy, look like little bits of plastic. In fact, the smallest computer in the world can fit on a grain of rice. So don't judge a book by its cover. Yes, it might look that way, but so do a lot of other, really powerful, efficient pieces of technology. All right, can you try before you buy? Is there a money back guarantee? Well, yes, you can try before you buy in a way, because you get a 14-day money back guarantee from the time of delivery. So if you do get your Healy, you don't like it, send it back. Nothing to lose. Or if you live near me in Bundaberg, come and see me. You can try mine for free. All right, does it matter who your sponsor is? I say yes. I say it matters a lot. there are people here that are in the Healy scheme probably just to make money. That's their focus. And that's okay. They're selling a good product. I've got no problem with that, but that's their focus. So their emphasis is on the business model. There's some people in here to help people more aligned where I am, because that's my industry, that's my profession. So that's my focus. And then there's a combination of people who want to make money and help people sell a product. So find a sponsor who has time for you. This is my best advice. Find someone who is knowledgeable, both in the product, microfrequency therapy, and in the business model, MLM. Get someone who has time, because you will have lots of questions, which I'm hoping this video will assist you with, but you want a sponsor that's going to be there to answer those questions. All right, can you overdose on frequency, and can you get hurt? No, you can't overdose on frequency. Your body takes what it needs, it just doesn't use the rest, a bit like vitamin C. Although I shouldn't say that, because there's vitamins, you can overdose on vitamins. But frequencies, no, you can't overdose, although you can get some side effects. I think the most common is heat in the body, where the area of application has been used. I had a program running on my back last night, couldn't feel the micro frequencies at all, even on 100% intensity, I couldn't feel them. But then after the program completed and I removed the electrodes, my back was very warm in that area, but I was also pain-free. So that's not really a side effect, just something that you might notice, a little bit of tingling or sensations in the tissue. You might feel a little bit of fatigue or drowsiness. You might feel really relaxed or tired after, depending upon what program you're running. And you might even get a little bit of an increase in those detox symptoms. So you might feel a little bit of nausea or a little bit of, unwellness, because your cells are cleansing, going through a bit of a detox. The symptoms may come on within 60 minutes, may last up to 24 hours, but very, very unlikely. If you think about the symptoms or the side effects of medication, it doesn't compare. So the answer is not really, but as a disclaimer, potentially there can be a few minor things, but no, you can't really overdose on frequency. All right. I don't understand the compensation plan. Can I help you? Well, this was my question, and a lot of people I'm talking to are asking about the compensation plan, of which Healy has a compensation plan PDF. But even after reading that, I was like, I don't get it. It's just not the language I speak. I'm not experienced in this area, so it was brand spanking new to me. Now, if you're familiar with the structure and the way that MLMs work, you probably already got this. It probably makes perfect sense to you. But not every one of us comes in with that kind of experience. So I'm going to direct you to a resource that helped me, a fantastic resource. So you might want to write this down. It was a YouTube video that I watched, and out of the many YouTube videos I watched, I found this one most helpful. It is called Healy World USA Compensation Plan Simplified, and it's by Global Frequency Network. Healy World USA Compensation Plan Simplified by Global Frequency Network. It's a lady just talking like I'm talking, no slides, no special effects, but gee, it helped me understand the plan. And now I can get my head around it a bit. So very basic, you get a direct compensation. So that's paid weekly on the products that you are selling. And with the resonance, because I bought a resonance, works on a point system rather than a dollar system. So if one of my people that I bring in to Healy purchase a resonance, I get, I think it's 1,250 points, but 40% of that equates to about 800 Australian dollars or 500 American dollars. So every time I sell that, 800. And that's your direct compensation. Then you have your binary payout, which is paid monthly. And that works now on a different kind of model, but it's really good because so much of your compensation can come in through the binary payout, and you don't even really have to do anything. So these are people that you've brought in that are bringing in people. So it's that leveling down that gets you or generates an income for you. Now, I am going to let Global Frequency Network, the video I've referred you to on YouTube, to explain this, because I am convinced she'll do a better job than me. But essentially there's going to be 2 legs, and I didn't understand this. You have what we call the power leg. So this is where your sponsor's going to bring people in under you. And you're going to have your build leg. So this is where you're going to bring people in. Now you want to build up both of these legs. You want to get them both working. And what you'll do at the end is you'll get point values for both legs. And to simplify this, really simplify it, you will get the lower leg 15% payout. So the leg that is the lesser leg, a 15% payout. And then it rolls over. So the difference will roll over into the next month. So your points are not lost or flushed out, which can happen with some multi-level marketing models. Okay, and then there's all sorts of other great bonuses too. So what have we got here? Leadership bonus, rank advancement bonus, fast start bonuses, mobility bonuses, matching bonuses. You get bonuses for subscription and package upgrades, blah, blah, blah. Too much to mention here, but that video talks about all of this and simplifies it and makes it really understandable. So if you want to know more about their compensation plan, please do go there. But compression is something that Healy offers. So essentially what that is if you bring people in under you and they don't really do anything, rather than having, a loss there, it sort of cancels them out and the person under them moves up. So compression is something that I didn't understand, still trying to understand, but seems like that's an important part of it. All right, I'll move on from the compensation plan because whilst I am now finally getting my head around it, there's so many areas to explain. There's so many ways to generate extra bonuses with Healy that it is a video in and of itself. Okay, next question. What do I like and dislike about Healy? So I'm going to start with what I dislike because I'd like to finish with some happy news. I dislike the price. I actually do. I think it's unaffordable for a lot of people. That's not to say I don't think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. And certainly the compensation plan makes it worth it. You can get your money back in a way. But it's that outlay of money for a lot of people that just makes it an unrealistic price tag. And that's really unfortunate. I wish there was a different way to bring people in rather than having to pay in. So the base model, $800. The residence model, the highest model, $4,000, even $800 as I speak to people, particularly in this, time, the climate we're in, are finding that unaffordable. All right, the customer service side of things, I think is pretty lacking. Now, I haven't had direct experience with this, but I'm hearing a lot of people complain about the customer service. They send off requests or emails, and it's taking weeks to get a response, which is not okay. That's not good. But I believe that's probably because it took off and it grew exponentially. And I think maybe, it's just my own hypotheses, maybe Healy wasn't ready for that growth. But I also have heard from a very reliable person that there's going to be a customer service team established in Australia. So that's good. The instructions are pretty, I don't know, don't really like them. They're a little bit vague sometimes, and different people saying different things. The way I was told to set it up was different depending upon what video I went to. Some people, when they get their Healys, they get a video instruction. So inside the box there's a brochure and they open up and there's videos. I've never even seen a video brochure before, but you go through the setup videos, which is great, but I didn't get that. I don't know why I didn't get that, but I've heard some people do, some people don't. Maybe they just didn't produce enough. Don't know. But yeah, the instructions, not great, but if you've got a good sponsor, they'll help you set it up. And that's why I think it's important to pick the right people to work with. All right, what else don't I like? I don't like the unfair promotions. Now, maybe I'm just being a bit jealous here because when I bought my Healy, $4,000 worth, there were no promotions in Australia, but at the same time in the States, you guys had a fantastic promotion. Whatever model you bought, you got a free upgrade. So all I would have had to have done is bought a holistic health for $2,400 and I would have got the free upgrade. So I was a bit bummed about that. It's not really unfair. I think Australia had a similar promotion in April. I just missed the boat, so I'm just jealous. But it would be nice to see the promotions universal, so everyone gets the promotion at the same time, but maybe that's not possible. All right, and what I don't like, well, not going to say I don't like it. I'm still out. My jury is out in regards to the aura reading. I don't know about that. Maybe I need to learn a little bit more. The microfrequency work, absolutely love and advocate, but the aura read, not so sure. I don't think I'll be using it at the moment. And that's only a feature of the resonance anyway. So if you haven't bought the resonance, then, that's not going to apply. Now, what I do like, obviously I like microfrequency therapy work. The science is there, absolutely. I'm very supportive of that. There is evidence of microfrequency working, so I love that. And it works over and above the psychopharmaceutical industry. So even though I work in aged care psychiatry, I work in psychology, I don't really advocate, or I advocate very conservatively for medication. There are people who need medication, and medication is very effective in certain circumstances, but we over-medicate. We put everyone on a prescription. If a kid can't sit still in school, we say, oh, they've got ADHD, and we medicate. If someone comes in and, 70 years old and they've lost their partner of 50 years and they're bereaved, we put them on an antidepressant. No. The body was designed to heal itself, and emotions are normal. Grief is normal. So I think anything that is, a substitute for the pharmaceutical industry, and that's effective and that works, is just a better option. The body is meant to heal itself. All right, and I like that it's working. So I use Healy with people, I use it with myself, and it works. Obviously, that's the best thing of all, isn't it? It works. All right, so now we're down to that bonus question. Now, I don't want to mislead anyone here, and this is a question that people in my frontotemporal dementia support group have asked me. Does this work for dementia? All right, so at this time, there's no evidence to support that theory, but we can't really do RCTs. We can't randomly ascribe people to a dementia or a non-dementia group. There's limited research in this area, but there are studies showing that microfrequency therapy stimulates and regenerates skeletal muscle tissue and in satellite cells and other types of cells. So there's studies that show a positive effect with electrical current promoting cell migration and wound healing and restoration of homeostatic equilibrium, or what we call internal cellular polarization. There's evidence for all of this stuff. So there's evidence that it impacts cells. We know that. And in neurodegeneration, what is it? It's brain cell degeneration. So will it work? I think there's possibilities, but the evidence isn't there at the moment. There's studies that have shown correlation between microfrequency exposure and Alzheimer's, but the suggestion there was that, and I'm going to refer to my notes here, that the suggestion being extremely low frequency magnetic fields, so the ELF, MFs, can promote inflammation processes and influence the progression of neurodegenerative disease. The studies at the moment, there's a lack of experimental studies. We also know that correlation is not causation. Just because two things go together, that doesn't mean it is explaining the cause. And the studies at the moment have very small sample sizes, so they're limited in their power. But there's emerging evidence indicating that short-term electromagnetic frequency exposure can cause what we call mild oxidative stress. So it changes the antioxidant levels in cells and possibly, activating the anti-inflammatory process. So decreasing the pro-inflammatory response and increasing the anti-inflammatory cytokines. So these are proteins made by the immune system to regulate, mediate the immune response. And, with frontotemporal dementia or Alzheimer's, we have proteins, we have neurofibrillary tangles, we have amyloid plaques, we have tau proteins, we have all these things at a cellular level that I just don't think there's enough work that's being done as far as cellular regeneration and microfrequency work. So I think there's possibilities, but at this time there's no evidence to support this theory. But having said that, there have been studies, and old studies, one in 2003, one in 2008, so quite old now, that have shown that TENS, so that's your transcutaneous, that's my other little machine, electrical nerve stimulation, has shown improvement in verbal long-term memory with Alzheimer's patients. It's also shown verbal fluency improvement. So TENS stimulation has shown improvement. So look, I think there is so much work that needs to be done here, and I want to get involved in that. I really want to do a study next year at a doctorate level with microfrequency therapy using Healy with people with cognitive impairment or early dementia, and I really want to get some evidence there. So look, it would be wrong of me to say that it works, and certainly people with advanced dementia where the atrophy of the brain has deteriorated substantially, as in my mother's case, I don't think that's going to do anything. Might get some symptom relief, might get improved sleep, might get some symptoms, might help with some of her wound healing, but as far as the dementia goes, we need more research. But I do think that you're going to get some results, but maybe in the context of symptom alleviation, not dementia itself. But more work needs to be done, and that's the answer, is that there's emerging evidence that stimulation of the neurocells, there's things to show improvement in various areas in the context of dementia. But we need more studies, we need more research, we need more evidence. But if you do purchase a Healy and you're using it with someone with cognitive impairment or memory problems or language problems, aphasia or something, if you're using it and it's working, I want to hear from you. Please let me know. I'm very interested. Okay, so that's it. I hope that this video has been helpful. I hope I've answered some of those basic questions that you're probably asking in the early stages. I'm more than happy to answer more questions, and if I don't have the answer, I'll find out for you. I am going to put my sponsorship link below in this YouTube video, and by all means come and join me, because I will support you. But even if you want to come to my clinic, and no cost, if you want to just come and trial it and you're in the area, please do. I really would love to show you how this works and get to meet you. But for now, that is all. I wish you all, wherever you are, a very happy, peace-filled day. Okay, bye.